GWM, go with more. GWM, go with more. GWM, go with more.
Dear friends, welcome to GWM Taklimakan Rally live stream. Welcome to Baoding River. Xinjiang Taklimakan Rally is in full spring, and GWM with the 10, 300, 500, and 700, and Canon. And there is the production group, and in the Gobi, the desert, in the difficult situation, the power system. There is a big test for that actually, for the power and the power system. It's not just the race, it's the test for the vehicle. It's the test field for our vehicles. And behind the race, there is the R&D support. Today, we're here in Baoding, and we have our technical center power system engineer, and he will talk about the power R&D and talk about the upgrading and also how to promote the GWM to go overseas. So let's allow him to give a self-introduction.
Good morning. So my name is Yvan Le Neindre. I'm a Powertrain Senior Development Director at Great Wall Motors. I've been working for this company since 2014.
大家好，这位呢是我们技术中心动力系统的总工程师南一凡专家，他从2014年就已经加入到咱们公司了。我呢是申淼淼，南一凡专家的翻译。
year 2014, and I'm the assistant and also the interpreter for our expo. So for this time, the GWM has invited international racers, and what's the value for that?
Rally. So they want to know what's the biggest value for inviting these drivers to compete in this event.
Yeah, so from a hardcore R&D perspective, bringing these world-class drivers is like hiring the toughest torture tester for our production vehicles.
For the technical R&D, inviting the international race is to provide the light charge for our vehicles.
For years. They know off-road conditions, they know driving habits from all over the world. When they drive vehicles whose core components are 100% identical to our mass-produced models, their expert eyes and international racing standards, they quickly pinpoint issues in chassis tuning, powertrain logic, other systems under extreme conditions, and then they can deliver precise real-world feedback.
So for the racers, they're attending the rallies in the world. They're experienced in race, and also they know the road and also the style of driving and also the vehicles. And the spare parts, the same as our mass production vehicle, and with their experience and also the standards of the race, we can quickly know our vehicle better, like chassis, the powertrain, another problem. And so the solution will be really
Taklimakan's rallies,
useful for
unpredictable
us.
terrain is a natural proving ground, far more demanding than any lab. The vast amount of real-world extreme data we collect during the race feeds into our global R&D database, become part of our engineering standards and quality benchmarks, accelerates new model development, and eventually, through calibration updates and OTA improvements, it enhances the durability and the calibration of our production vehicles.
So for the route in the Taklimakan Desert, there is a natural one testing field. And with the data in this extreme condition, we will put it in our R&D center, and it will become the standard for our R&D, and that will be good for our vehicle, and there will be the OTM upgrading, so our mass production vehicle can be even better.
We turn the toughest racing challenges into everyday reliability for our customers.
So to be honest, so with the extreme test and transfer that into the mass production vehicles in our daily lives. So it's for our daily use of the vehicle. And so for the racers, and with the real data from the extreme condition, like high temperature and what.
For the vehicles. So what we want to know what's the unique value of their feedback on our overseas vehicle model development, such as the vehicle model for the high temperature Middle East or the long distance cross country in Australia.
So first, these drivers, they share similar driving habits with overseas users. So their feedback is more real world. They have competed in desert rallies worldwide, and they know the extreme heat of the Middle East or the long cross-country traveling in Australia, and all type of rugged off-road terrain. Their driving sensations and operating condition judgments align closely with how overseas customers actually drive off-road and on long trips, so making their input highly relevant to end-user needs.
First of all, for the racers, the style of the driving is quite similar to the ones in other countries and close to the real-world situation. They have the international rally, there's a high temperature and long distance, and they know a lot about this, and the experience in driving, and it's similar to the off-road. Driving is similar, so the feedback can be more useful for our daily usage of the vehicle.
Precisely identify the technical weaknesses in specific overseas scenarios, making our vehicles more durable. The Taklimakan's high temperature, long distance, and high loads mirror extreme environments in the Middle East and Australia. The targeted issue they raise enable us to improve heat resistance, durability, and long-range capability for overseas market models, ensuring our cars can truly handle the deserts of the Middle East or the Australian outback.
And also, specifically knowing the shortcomings of the vehicles and to our improvement, like the high temperature, long distance, and the road, and it's like the condition in Middle East, we can make improvement in terms of the feedback and to make sure that our vehicle can face many difficulties and
makes
even
vehicle
better.
handling feel right for local preferences. Based on proven Dakar rally tuning experience, these drivers offer professional advice on steering feel, power delivery logic, braking adaptation, and off-road mode calibration, helping us move beyond a home market mindset and better match the driving styles of overseas users.
And finally, with the information in the international rally and with the Dakar rally, the experience from there, we can focus more on the power system and other calibration, and there will be a localization of the R&D, so they will be more suitable for the overseas drivers. And there's a question for the GWM vehicle, the powertrain. How can it be applied in the international market?
Yeah, so the core logic is precise adaptation, just like the driver feedback we discussed earlier. We know that energy structures, infrastructures, and driving habits, they vary greatly across the regions. So no single powertrain can meet every market's needs.
Our core is that precise adaptation. Just like the feedback from the Taklimakan rally, there will be the precise adaptation, the energy structure, and other configuration, and the habit of driving different. So a single powertrain will not meet all the needs of the market.
Motors launched the Great Wall Motors One Platform. Think of it as a movable type printing for the auto industry. It fully covers 5 major powertrain types: ICE, HEV, PHEV, BEV, and fuel cell EV. Truly one platform, multiple powertrain, precisely matching the needs of different markets, users, and vehicle classes.
That is why in January this year, GWM have done a lot, and there is the printing technique, just like the printing technique of the GWM. They have the hybrid and also the HV and different kind of energy, different power, so that we can do the precise calibration, so meet the needs of different
Motors One S platform. Its
users.
commonality reaches 95%. That not only shortens the development cycles and lets us respond quickly to global market changes, but also means lower repair costs and easier service for the users, delivering real technology for everyone.
It can reach as high as it can reach as high as 95%. So we can shorten the cycle of R&D, so quickly respond to the change of the world in the market. And so for the spare parts, it can be more widely used in other vehicles, so it will be lower cost, it will be more accessible and affordable. It's very interesting, just like the printing technique. We talk about a platform, so the energy structures in the world different, like Brazil and the EU focus on the new energy vehicle. And when going overseas, how GWM is doing to meet the differentiated needs of the market in the world.
The energy structure of each department is different. For example, Brazil promotes ethanol. Middle East prefers gasoline. But Europe strongly pushes new energy. So we want to know how Great Wall Motors handles this difference.
Yeah, so Great Wall Motors follows a local for local strategy. Let me give you a few examples.
For the difference of the structure, we focus on localization, and hereby I need to give you some examples.
With extreme heat and desert conditions, we have reinforced the powertrain cooling systems with larger radiators and high-efficiency fans, ensuring stable performance even under sustained high load. We also send prototype vehicles to Saudi Arabia and to the UAE and other countries, hiring experienced local drivers for on-road validation and calibration, precisely solving real-world high-temperature pain points.
For
the Middle East market, it's really hot, and we upgraded the cooling system, and there's the big radiator and better electric fan. So with the high-speed, low high temperature, it can be function normally. And we transfer the vehicle in UAE and Saudi Arabia, and we have the experienced drivers. We have promoted localization and solved the problems of high-temperature driving.
Tough and varied roads, lots of sharp turns and aggressive driving habits, which demands extensive local testing. We ran tests in multiple cities, gathered direct feedback from local users, and brought in a world-renowned chassis tuning team to run repeated calibration sessions across all kinds of local terrain, sand, gravel, shallows, crossing, to better match real-world driving needs and habits, delivering the stability and toughness Australian driver wants.
So for the another market, for the different driving styles, and we have the localization testing, and with the real data feedback from the drivers, and we have the chassis team on the sand gravels, and we did the collaboration so as to focus on the habits of the drivers, so they will become
Brazil, we tailor-made the world's
better
first
driving
ethanol
experience.
flex-fuel PHEV. It features an intelligent recognition system that automatically adapts to any ethanol blend ratio from 22% to 100% and adjusts the engine strategy in real time.
For Brazil market, we have the first vehicle with the unique mixture of the vehicle, and there is the energy can have different proportion, and there will be promote the operation of the vehicle.
Humidity year-round, plus difference in soap pH level in local car wash led us to raise the anti-corrosion standards. We collected more than a dozen local car wash soap samples, analyzed their chemical composition, and we adjusted our coating formulation so that the sealing every possible rust pass.
So for Thailand, with the high temperature all year long, and there is the exit level of the vehicle washing difference, so the corrosion fact analyzation promote the formulation of the painting to avoid problems. Formulation of the painting to avoid problems. So in different countries, a different situation, we are doing the localization. For Taklimakan Valley, so for the powertrain and the heat dissipation, there is the health light testing, and there is the hybrid vehicle from your perspective view of one, and with the high temperature and also going uphill constantly. And what kind of advantages do we have in this regard?
Conditions has a very high requirement for the powertrain's sustained output power and heat dissipation. We know this year we sent several Hi4 T vehicle models to this event. From a technical point of view, we want to know what's the unique advantages of our all-electric hybrid architecture in handling this continuous hill climbing and such high temperature driving scenarios.
So in the extreme environment of the Taklimakan, Hi4 T offers several key technical advantages.
In extreme high temperature in Taklimakan Valley, we have the following technical advantages.
Mechanical four-wheel drive plus 3 differential locks means more reliable in extreme recovery situations. Hi4 T uses a mechanical four-wheel drive layout with front, center, and rear different locking differentials. During the sand start and recovery from being stuck, the wheel speeds are perfectly synchronized, and the torque flows seamlessly and instantly between all four wheels, effectively preventing single wheel or axle slip or digging, greatly improving the recovery success rate.
First is about the four wheels and also 3 locks, and it can be more reliable. Heavy have the four-wheel structure, the front, the middle, and back. There is the lock. So when you try to reach synchronization, so there may be avoid one wheel or one axle, like the sliding problem, so you can get unstuck more easily.
Strong responsive power for dune climbing. Both the engine and motor can work together. The electric motor delivers explosive torque almost instantly, kicking in within 30 milliseconds for stronger, quicker response. At the same time, the system relies primarily on the high-power engine, using the motor to peak shaving and valley filling. This places less demand on continuous electric-only outputs, avoiding motor overload or rapid battery depletion.
The second is about a fuel and electric combination. So when we go uphill in the desert, the engine and motor can work at the meantime, and the motor can act really quickly, and it can kick in instantly. And there is the high power engine, and so there will be no high standard for the output of that power, so there may be no overloaded problem.
Third, we have sustained stable power with no drop-off under high load. Thanks to the efficient combination of the high-power engine and 9HAT, plus energy recovery during downhill or braking, Hi4 T maintains a stable state of charge. Even during repeated dune climbing and high-load ball maneuvers, torque output stays way above 88.7 of peak, ensuring consistent power and giving drivers sustained, controllable confidence to push hard.
The third is about high stability of the power, even though there is a high low, and there will be no diminution of that, and there will be the high power engine, and there is the good coordination when we go downhill. And for the energy restoration, Hi4 T will have the balance of the electric when there is the continuous going uphill with the high low. The torque can also have the good condition, like over 87%, no reduced fraction of the power. There will be the controllable and comfortable driving experience for the drivers. So 100% from the mass production vehicles. And so what's the plan for the upgrading of the modification of the mass production vehicles?
Rally is 100% the same as our mass production vehicle. We are curious about how we apply this data into our mass production vehicle.
Yeah, that's a great question. This gets to the core of why we race.
这是一个很好的问题，因为它触
This is
及
a
了
good
我
question.
们参赛的核心逻
That is
辑。
the core
So the
related
track is the
to
ultimate test lab for
why
racing.
we attend the
Labs and
race.
proving grounds, they can simulate many conditions. But the Taklimakan's combination of intense heat, continuous full load operation for over 10 hours, and constantly changing surface grip that can only be replicated on a real race course.
赛道呢，就是
So
咱
the
们量
track
产车的终极考
is
场。
the
实验室和试车场能够
final
完成
test
这个
for our
场景。
vehicles.
但
We
是像
can do
环法这种高
many
温啊，连续
simulation.
十几个
But
小
in
时的这种
Taklimakan
全负荷
Desert,
运
there
行，
is the high
也包括
temperature
这种
and
随
the
时
high
变化
hour
的风面合
driving,
这种
and
综
there
合
is
极
the
端的
other
情况也
difficult
只有在赛
situation.
道上
We
才
only
能
have
体现出来。
this in
For
the
example, the high
race.
temperature power output data we gather on the Taklimakan directly helped optimize the thermal management calibration of the 3-liter turbo V6 engine in our production vehicles. The turbocharger on this engine can withstand 980 degrees without active power reductions, and much of the validation and calibration of that extreme limit was done on the track. Another example, during repeated dune climbing, the Hi4 T's parallel hybrid strategy, when the motor handles peak torque release and when the engine takes over as the main driver, those optimization parameters, they came from countless runs on the track.
举个例子，
For example,
我们在环塔
for
赛
the
道上
Taklimakan
采
track,
这种高
we
温
have the
高温
high
这种
temperature
这
power
帮助我们优
output,
化
and there will be
了
the
3.0T
upgrading
V6 发
of
动机的
the
热管理标定。这台发
V6
动机的涡轮增压器呢，能够
heat
承受
management,
980摄氏度的高
and
温，
it can
而且
withstand
不会出现
980 degrees
风险。
Celsius
这
high
些值的测试
temperature,
和标定
and
很多就
these
是在赛道
standards,
环境下完成的。再
many
比如
of them
说
from
沙漠里
the
连续冲坡
track,
时，还
and
包括
for
了油田冲击
continuous
策略，
climbing of the
什么时
dune,
候
there
该
will
按
be
动机作为主航，什么
when
时
is
候
the
该让发动机
motor
作为主力输
will
出，
need
这些
to do
策
the
略的
complementary
优化都
force,
是
and
从
when is the
赛道
time for
上
the
一件一件
engine.
跑
So
出来
we
的。
got this from the track.
Retro Motors R&D Center, we have a tradition. Engineers, they bring laptops to the track, they spot issues, they tweak parameters, and they test again the next day. This data comes from running, not from calculation development philosophy, is the true meaning of racing to advance R&D.
So GWM Technical Center, there is a tradition. The engineer will go to the field with the computer and with the problem. They just do the job right away. There is the really real data from the field. Thank you both for your wonderful sharing. And we can see the charm of us going global. And for the performance of the check, now let's take a look at Xinjiang. Hi everyone, welcome to GWM live stream. Now we are here in Taklimakan Valley SS8, and here is our dear friend, teacher He. Hi. Now we are at the 8th special stage, and now we are here. So for Taklimakan region, Xinjiang, and also in the entire country, it is a very special place. So today, we can see there are departures of the vehicles. This is a very special place. So we're taking off from here. So for the track, it's a very long, straight track. And before that, we want to share something about what happened yesterday. Let's review the race of yesterday.
I feel so, each kilometer I feel much more comfortable in my tank 700 and well, we continue in this line. Now we are have a 6 more stage. Okay, we try to push every stage.
The vehicle and my co-driver, everything very good. Vehicle very good. The most reassuring part is the logistic support. It's difficult to repair the vehicle after departure. The vehicle is full of energy. No problem with the vehicle at all. Really smooth. Thank you, Koma. Thank you, GWM. Welcome back. So after SS8, and what's the result for that? So for T2 SS8, the first one is also 251 Cavagliasso, Nicolás from Argentina. So the second place is 3 minutes away from him. 261, Wang Huijun, Zhang Xichao is the third place. So not much difference within 20 minutes. The first one, the first one is the friend we know so much, Niels, and the next one is from GWM. Number 253, number 9. So for the top 10, we can see 5 of them from GWM. And for the top 5, 4 of them from GWM. So cheer for our GWM team. I want to talk about Ferris. So SS5, SS6. The SS5, he did not finish that. SS6, because he did not get a vehicle well prepared, so did not attend the race. So in these 2 stages, he did not get the result. So there was the time penalty. Ella also mentioned that Ferris' job is to do the testing for the vehicles and for the data collection for that rally. So in the race, he will try his best to drive the vehicle. Ferris will be under a lot of pressure because we mentioned that If you have not finished, cannot finish the race for 5 times, you need to be withdrawn. And 3 times you cannot come out from the camp, and there will be the withdrawal also. So there is the rule for this year's Taklimakan Rally. And so for yesterday, 6 vehicles did the withdrawal, and 1 vehicle missing too many waypoints, over 140%. So severe punishment. And there was a vehicle for the starting point. So for the checking point, did not do the checking point. So there was the punishment also. So in the race, you can see that when you have this kind of condition, and it will be really hard for you to get the champion. So for Ferris, number 253, because we can see many netizens that focus on him, and we're looking forward to seeing him having a good performance. And the number 21 young driver, Navarro, and it will be really difficult for him to get the champion. And there was a time penalty, so he needs to try to get the champion for the stages. So for the T2, the GWM still has the advantage. Maybe a little bit too much. We need to be humble. So for the T2 group, T2.0, 2.3, for the smaller groups, we need to get the accumulative, the credit champion, and other kind of champion. So for these smaller groups, we will not provide further information. In overall, we still have good situation. So for the T2, the first one is the Nicolás Cavagliasso. The T2.1 is the NRL, is the number 1. And then the Wang Huijun. There is an obvious advantage of Wang Huijun. And we also want to mention that. So for the process of the race, please be careful. Let's move to the side. Photographer, let's go to the side. We will not move. Director, this is the starting point. To be honest, it's an area other people will find it really hard to be part of it. It's really narrow here because it's the classic place for Taklimakan Valley. It's a must-check-in point. So it's a very special place. And today they will be drive along the lake, the river. So if you want to have the live stream, and you can find it's difficult to get the right spot to do the live stream. And for the starting point, so in the entire area, the previous place is not like the desert because there was the green color water and other plants, and also flying birds, because this is the Keriya, the famous river. So it's from Kunlun Mountain. After the plateau, and go to north and go to the Taklimakan Desert and disappear in the desert. So in the past days, the water is from the icy wall mountain. So sometimes it will be here, and sometimes the water will be there. So really changeable river. So for this starting point is the village, Keriya village. The name is from the Keriya Buyi people. Very special and very interesting story. Like 1980s, there was the adventurer entered Taklimakan Desert and noticed this small village, and the people lived there called themselves Keriya Buyi people. So there was a story here, and later, after the founding of the country, and based on the history, and in the Taklimakan Desert, there are some people living there, and we need to find them. So So later there were some people trying to look for them, but they failed. But in 1980, the people checking the oil, they found these people. They thought they were Asian people. They had a really Asian way of living. So this place are also just like the peach flower village in the desert. It's also having a nickname like this. So they have an enclosed, very different life from others. This most difficult is the village that people find it really difficult to get close to. There is Cavagliasso. I hope that we have the chance to talk to our Chinese driver. For the previous stages, like Wang Huijun, Zhang Qilin, they all behaved really good. And also the Anna Red, really good performance also. Let's have a few words with Cavagliasso.
Any chance to talk to you? Do I have any chance to talk to you? Okay. So, 1 minute. Okay. Today is one of the classic special stage of this year's race. Any expectations? And what is the biggest challenge?
Yes, I think all the stages are really hard. So we are focusing this stage today and finish, stay in the bivouac this night. It's good for the team, for the car. Well, we'll be smart for finish today.
Okay, thank you. Good luck. Thank you. 所以他们还有1分钟就要这个。
Till departure after 1 minute. Just now, I asked her about today's stage. Photographer, go to the side, please. Please be fast. Hurry. For today's stage, to be honest, I mentioned just now this stage. It's a classic stage of the Taklimakan rally. So in this year's rally, all the stages are difficult, and drivers need to protect their vehicles and have good performance. You can see the drivers, they are trying to be stable. So try not to have the time penalty, so they'll be easier for Nicolás, and the ranking will not be too different. So SS5 and 6, after that, they're like 3 hours away from from other racers. For example, away from Everett, and the drivers will find it difficult to catch up with him. And yesterday also really good. So they're maintaining this momentum. So for this stage, 288.1 kilometers. Do we need to be careful about some parts, and do you have something to share with us? Comparing to previous stages, the biggest characteristics for this is the security waypoints. So many of them. So we can do the comparison. SS5, 9 of them, 6, 9, SS7, just 6 safety waypoints. For this one, 20 safe points, safety waypoints. So we go to north along the river. But why there are so many safety waypoints? Because for this route, when they go along the river, and there are some dangerous and key location. We talk about the safety waypoints, the purpose, and the area for that. There is the most dangerous place. So when they do the designing, this way, they hope that you can follow the direction, don't go to the side and cross in a dangerous way. So for the roadbook, we can see there are so many classification marks, like 2 or 3 of them. The radius is just 3 meters. So the vehicles must be really close to the safety waypoints. For the locals, they have the advantages because they have been here. At the meantime, they are also facing challenges. The co-driver of the many of them just have the cooperation first time. So for today, we have 37 hidden waypoints we mentioned just now. For FRM rules for the hidden safety waypoints, the detection systems, the radius is 800 meters and the through distance is 90 meters. There is a rule here for different location. They do the off-road rally, and the organizers will do some adjustment focus on the driver's capability and also other characteristics, and they will do some adjustment related to these distances. So yesterday I checked the rules of the Taklimakan Rally for this year. The detection distance and the pass distance the same, but for the hidden waypoint, the detection distance is 1,000 meters, so 200 meters more than the international standard. There is a small change here, 1,000 meters. What's that mean? So the vehicle is far away from the place, and there will be something showing earlier, and the organizer also know there is high difficulty of the race, and there are so many racing cars this year, and some from the clubs, some professional racers, so different. So we need to highly value safety. So there are some changes here, and also for this route we can see, and there are many parts that we need to pay more attention. For example, 8 kilometers to 18 kilometers for this period of road, for these 10 kilometers, just like form this one. So for the first part of the road and the back, this latter part, we can see the rule, we can see the check. But from 8 to 18 kilometers, you cannot see. You just can get a navigation from the rowboat. There is a high requirement for the co-driver. There are 2 points they need to focus. The 20 safety waypoints, most dangerous places, and the second one is the navigation. Don't get lost. And for the design of the waypoints is not too difficult. And there is the classic stage, so there will be a lot of communication. So for today's race, some drivers can have more strengths because they have been here. So there is the test for the co-driver also. And we have 2 CP points. For the CP points, you need to get out from the vehicle and get a stamp. The first one is 76.37 kilometers that location, and there's another one, and go all the way along the lake, and there is the way back. You have that point. For the CP point, no difference in speed limitation. For the first one is 3 kilometers. The second one is the 40 kilometers. So different. So the navigator needs to be really focused today. So it's not too difficult for today's stage, but really full of characteristics. So we can see diverse terrain and landforms, and we can, for the departure, at least the starting point is not just the desert. There is the water and the green colors, and in the race, there will be the scenery also very beautiful. And there is a really dry river and also the Gobi. So there are some requirements, and comparing to SS5 and 6, the devil stages, and this one is not a big deal. And also, there will be the wetland, really shallow sand dunes, and for the latter part is the Gobi. So the soft sand area also. So 3 parts, different location. So maybe there will be no difference in terms of result, but it will be a very interesting stage. And behind here, we can see
这也是在昨天成功的是
Wuqichang. For yesterday's stage,
第3个冲过终点。
he was the 3rd driver across the finish line from GWM. So they behaved really good.
是慢慢地进入状态。
They're slowly getting a good performance. Wang Huijun and Zhang Xichang, these 2 groups, they are really hitting up slowly. They don't have major mistakes, and they are really calm. And after SS5 and 6 and other stages, they can keep their performance and have the greatest result. The important part of the rally is not making mistakes. If you have the condition, and you will lose a lot of time. So in the following race, I believe we will see more teamwork. Yes. So for today's stage, I hope you can follow our live stream. The vehicle is rolling behind us. Now it's the second group. Because we know for the departure of the Taklimakan rally is related to the result of the previous stage. So basically, the T1 and T2, and they're mixed together. And a special thing about this year, maybe considering the safety of the stage today and also the starting point of this safety, the trucks will have the departure later, even though they are not from GWM. But they are the brother team, the co-creation team for us. Can you share something about that, like the difference in the starting position? Where is that today? Maybe too loud, maybe you did not hear me just now. Departure location the same, but because we need to cross so many villages, really a narrow road, and to make, considering safety, so the truck have the departure later comparing to before. So you can notice that Karma's team, before you can see the departure location front, right? And now you're not seeing the departure from them yet. Yeah, before they were like number 5 to have the departure. And behind here we can see Anara. Can we talk to him? Maybe we don't have the chance. In the enclosure area, will have the departure very soon. They need to do the registration. Let's cheer for Anara. You can put his name in the comment. Let's give us thumbs up. So Anara, this from he is really famous now and loved by many fans, and behavior really good, high technique. And another thing is that he is a little bit like Navarro. He is really calm. The mood is really good. The really calm style. So the performance of Enward is really good. He's a little bit different from other races. So for Enward, he has been leading the way. He can say, desert is my hometown. He has this confidence. So for having the race in the desert, that is easier for him. Another one, Li Xiaowen, also enthusiast from a civilian racer. And at the beginning, performance not so good, but it's getting better and better. Li Xiaowen also from northeast and really good at IC land racing. And he have done 2 months training related to desert rally. So he can handle the IC one and also the desert one. So for this year, for the Canon team, so for the racers, they are all very young. and talents from our society, maybe not professional, not so experienced in race, but they are really capable. And Na Yingtai is really mature, but he has really good performance also. And for the previous stage, because he did not came out, there was the time penalty, so the ranking is relatively lower. Maybe it will be really difficult to get the champion, final champion. So Na Yingtai, if he can be calm, and he still can try to get a really good performance. And many people are talking about this online, about driver Yao. We can see that. So after the previous stages, and because of the problem of the vehicles, and he had the tears coming out when we did the interview. And because the plug was not well positioned, so he did not finish the race successfully. And there was another video, and he said, "You don't make it wrong." Actually, he's not complaining. The mechanic personnel, they are very tired. He was trying to explain that. So I did not get the chance to talk to him. For the departure location, not the good time. But later, when we have the chance, I want to talk to driver Yao about this. What I want to say is that first, I really understand why he cried, because in being involved in this race for so many years, I have seen the effort from the drivers. There was the tears related to the victory and the tears related to the withdrawal, the move. If you're not emotional in this regard, maybe you don't love race so much. And from another dimension, it can show that the GWM attending the Taklimakan rally, there is the value of us doing this and how to explain this, how to understand this. We know that when we do the design, we focus on the usage. For example, the plugging. When they did the design, the convenience of the connection and the stability, it will not focus more on the risk of making it wrong. And for the mechanics, and they are working under so much pressure and trying to protect the vehicle for long working hours, and they'll be influenced. And sometimes for the maintenance, when they're a little bit not focused enough, and there will be the problem, even though there is a very small problem in the mass production vehicle. This problem is a tiny issue, but for this small incident in Taklimakan Rally and GWM, I believe the engineers will focus on this more, and how to prevent this kind of mistakes, even though the people are really tired. Another example. So last century, 90s, there was a severe incident. What's the reason for that? The tail of the vehicle, the airplane, the direction not stable, the two connection, but they did it in the wrong way. In the airplane, the operational system, they did the connection wrong. The pilot wanted to pull this. When he tried to do that, the vehicle went down, and there was the accident. So the airplane production vehicle, one hole is the square shape, another one is the round shape. So even though you made it wrong, you are not able to make it wrong anymore. So when you do the design, maybe you don't put this into consideration. 253, this one is driver Ferris, right? The departure location So for the previous stage, he was number 9. So for today's stage, he can depart early. And he can now fight for the final championship, but he can get the stage champion. And just like the example I mentioned just now for Ferris, for each stage, he needs to test the tank 700 and test the limit of that vehicle. And Ferris also mentioned that the main part is to gather enough innovation data in order to be part of the Dakar rally. And for Dakar, the challenge for us is FRA. There is no production hybrid vehicles before, never. So even though we are in Dakar rally, actually we are competing with the production fuel vehicles, but for the hybrid vehicles can face many problems like battery and also protection of the battery and the heat dissipation of the battery, the efficiency of the battery, and how to do the distribution of the power and to achieve the maximum performance. So this is unique. Other vehicles don't have this. Why do we need to do this and put the complicated system and put it in the most tough rally in the world? That is the purpose of Mr. Wei, CEO Wei. So he wants to get the safest, most reliable vehicle to our users. So Tank 700 is following the regulations like the location of the water tank. So for the Dakar Valley, the production team, you are not able to move the water tank, the location of the water tank. So we can see for Taklimakan Valley, they put the water tank back there. What's the advantage of that? You can avoid the dust, and you can avoid the gravels. Third, and there will be better heat dissipation and higher location. There will be more air passing through. We can see that many people focus on GWM. Just do some modification. We want to see this, but we hope that you can focus more on our Taklimakan rally. And when we do the modification, and we do that with the clear purpose for this year's rally, we can see GWM. Basically, there is the Canon V6 and the Canon 2.0. Number 51 having the departure already. Let's cheer for Cavagliasso. The cumulative result is number 1. So today is the classic stage. So the purple color is really beautiful in the desert. Really beautiful. And also for Cavagliasso, he is really experienced. I hope he can have good performance. Let's back to the previous topic. In Taklimakan Rally, there are different types of GWM vehicles, 300, 700, Hi4 T, Hi4 Z, all applied here. We hope to have the test in this extreme condition and have the best product for the people who love GWM, love the SUVs and our products. So we are doing this, do the modification based on the rules of Dakar Rally, not just promoting the racing culture in China, but also focus on the international rally, be part of the international race in the toughest condition and have a good position in the international arena. So it's not just the preparation for the Dakar Rally, and also we hope this can be used in our civilian users. I hope you can enjoy this rally. And I want to remind you that every day we will do the live stream for you for each stage. Now is the second part of the Taklimakan Rally, and cheer for Taklimakan Rally. See you tomorrow.
GWM, go with more. GWM, go with more. GWM, go with more.